Hello, Rello. Hello, fellow rebel capitalists. Almost got stuck on that one, for heaven's sakes. This in the news, Warren Buffett comes out and gives a shocking prediction that the banking crisis is far from over. Let's head right into an article from CNBC and check this out. And in the interim, you can go to rebelcapitalistlive.com and get your tickets to the most incredible investment conference in human history, rebelcapitalistlive.com. Oh, you guys are going to hear that for the next 30 days. I'm so bad of a salesman leading up to the event that the last 30 days, I got to pitch it every single day. All right, here we go. Warren Buffett says we are not through with banking failures. Buffett, and by the way, he's always like Mr. Optimism, right? So for him to say this, it's a big deal. Warren Buffett believes there could be more bank failures down the road, but depositors should not ever be worried. I don't know if I'd go that far. How do you figure, Warren? Unless he knows something we don't know or something we are assuming, and that's a central bank digital currency. The Fed steps in, says, hey, depositors, Warren Buffett is right. You should never, ever be worried. Just move your dollars from that stupid commercial bank that can go bust right on over here to the Fed. And everyone says, yay, thank you, Jerome Powell. And then 6 months later, they have a social score. And then they're sitting there scratching their head saying, how did that happen? They never even implemented a social, or they never even implemented a CBDC. But yet somehow I'm getting this report from Janet Yellen telling me how much diesel I purchased and warning me that I shouldn't be purchasing any more guns. Or we're going to get to this story a little bit later on this afternoon. Or the FBI sends you a letter saying that you need to stop using the words red pill. If you think I'm joking, I'm not. Now the FBI is saying that you are a threat to the United States if you use the word red pill, Chad, and some other ridiculous term that's just completely benign and it is just part of pop culture. But anyway, we'll get to that video later. So moving back to this article, he says banks will go bust, but depositors aren't going to be hurt. And again, you have to wonder why he is saying this when he knows darn well the FDIC only has about 200 billion in it. And by the way, how much of that 200 billion was taken up with Signature and Stupid Valley Bank? I'm guessing probably a good majority of it, or a good percentage at least. So, and he knows that there's 18 trillion in deposits, and he's a lot better at math than I am. So just figured out that dog don't hunt. So I don't know how he's saying this with a high degree of confidence, again, unless he's had some conversations and they say, yeah, Warren, tell these people not to worry about it. Just don't tell them all the dollars are going to the Fed's balance sheet. Investing legend Warren Buffett believes there could be more bank failures down the road. Oh yeah, depositors are fine, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I guess he's in Tokyo buying some stocks in Japan. The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, or Stupid Valley Bank, and Signature Bank last month, the second and third largest bank failures in U.S. history, respectively, prompted extraordinary rescue action from regulators who backstop all deposits in the failed lenders and provided an additional funding facility for troubled banks. Buffett said that some of the dumb things that banks do periodically became uncovered during this period, including having mismatched assets and liabilities, as well as questionable accounting. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but they did a lot more stupid things than that. Bankers have forever been tempted. Accounting procedures have driven some bankers to do some things that may have helped their current earnings. So what he's implying here, guys, just so you know, is on the asset side of their balance sheet, they've got a bucket that says hold to maturity. So Silicon Valley Bank just took as many assets as they possibly could that were taking a haircut. So the price was going down of these assets that they had on their balance sheet. And then they're like, well, we'll just go ahead and move these into this hold to maturity bucket on on the asset side of our balance sheet. And then we don't have to report the losses, the paper losses that we're taking. We can just pretend that we're going to hold them until we get paid. And then on the asset side, we can show that we haven't lost any money. That we if we bought them for $100, we can show $100 worth of assets on our balance sheet, even though the market price for that asset is, let's say, $50. I'm 99% sure this is the accounting, or these are the accounting shenanigans he is referring to. It says the costs of the FDIC are borne by the banks. Wrong. Who pays the banks, Warren? Come on, man. This is just the weakest argument I've ever heard in my life. And when these things started to go bust, I was listening to a lot of Twitter spaces with some of these experts, and this is what they all argued. They're like, oh, no. Joe Public isn't going to have to absorb the cost for this. Absolutely not. It's going to be completely free. Okay, is the government going to? Oh, no. It's not the government. No. Heavens, no. No, this is not a bailout. This is just simply the FDIC increasing their insurance, and then the bank's going to pay the insurance. Okay, smart guy. Where are the banks going to get the money? Oh, that's right. From their customers. And who are the customers? The taxpayer. I mean, it's just, come on. Who are you trying to kid? And he says banks have never cost the federal government a dime. The public doesn't understand that? Come on, Warren. Come on, buddy. The banks have never cost the federal government a dime. Okay, maybe they haven't, but they've cost the taxpayer a lot more than a dime. They've cost the taxpayer billions and billions and billions of dollars. I mean, come on. And this FDIC increase, like we said, that's going to be absorbed by the taxpayer. That's going to be absorbed by the customer. The banks aren't going to absorb that. And here is where I think he kind of plays a role for the government, because everyone sees him as someone who is morally straight as an arrow, has these incredible ethical standards, and he's just kind of this humble, go-lucky guy, this aw shucks type of dude, and just go ahead and trust whatever he says. And if he says the government's okay, A-okay, then you better believe the government, they're doing everything right. You know, if Warren Buffett says that the government is doing what they should to protect the average Joe and Jane, well, we need to believe whatever Warren Buffett says, you know, that type of thing. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know the guy. I've never spoken to him. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But when he says stuff like this, it makes me incredibly suspicious. You don't need to turn dumb decisions by managers into panicking the whole citizenry of the United States about something they don't need to panic about. So, again, I don't know him. I don't want to throw him under the bus. Let's assume the best. But I could imagine a scenario where the Biden administration calls Warren Buffett or Jerome Powell or Janet Yellen or whatever and says, hey, Warren, next time you're interviewed, if you could go ahead and try to do what we do every day, and that is instill as much confidence in the banking system, we'd greatly appreciate it. And he says, yeah, I got your back, no problem. I'm being interviewed by CNBC next week. I'll make sure it's handled. If I was a betting man, that's what I would bet is going on here. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. As always, make sure that you're standing up for freedom, liberty, free market capitalism, and getting your tickets to Rebel Capitalists Live. And we'll see you on the next video.